Okay, now we are going to talk about cardiac cycle. Before going to cardiac cycle, we have to know the parts. This is our pulmonary artery, which gives blood to the lungs. One of this goes to the this is if we take this is our left side and this is our right side. One goes to the left lung, one goes to the right lung. This is our pulmonary artery, and this is our right atrium, right ventricle, and left ventricle. This is our pulmonary veins, which carry the good blood from the lungs. This is our aorta, which gives the blood to the systems like our liver, brain, everything. And this is our superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, which collects all the venous bloods from our system to the heart. So this is our basic anatomy of the heart. And here we are having the mitral valve. This is our tricuspid valve, and this is our aortic valve, and this is our pulmonary valve. So there are four valves which avoids the blood to regurgitate into the chambers. So the first part of the cardiac cycle is about atrium. Whatever happens, we take one side and study this side. Whatever happens here, the same happens here also. So I am explaining only one side. First, we take the left atrium, which takes the blood to the system. Okay. The first phase is atrial contraction. Now the aortic valve is closed, the mitral valve is closed. The atria starts to contract. The atria starts to contract. The mitral valve is now open. So the blood starts filling into the ventricle. The aortic valve is closed. So the blood starts to filling in the ventricle. In this, 80% of the filling is passive. No need for atrial contraction. Only 20% needs atrial contraction. So when the ventricle starts filling the blood, the pressure from the atrium is, as the blood is moving from the atrium to the ventricle, the pressure here becomes down. The pressure in the atrium is down. The pressure in the ventricle starts to go up. So to prevent the reflow of the blood, the mitral valve is now closed. As the pressure in the left ventricle is increasing, as the pressure in the left ventricle is increasing, the mitral valve is closed. So this closure of mitral valve produce sound called S1. This is not only for mitral valve, the same as I said before, the same happens in the right. So both the closure of mitral valve and tricuspid valve produce sound S1. Okay. Now the pressure in the ventricle is increasing. Now the mitral valve is closed, the aortic valve is closed. No other valve is open. It's a chamber. It's a closed chamber. Now the volume becomes constant as the mitral valve is closed. Now the ventricle starts contracting. The ventricle is contracting in a closed chamber. The volume is constant. The pressure is increasing. This phase is called isovolumetric contraction. In this phase, mitral valve is closed, aortic valve is closed. Now the pressure is increasing. Now the pressure here increases. So in this time, as here is closed, it's also closed. The atrium receives blood from the lungs and started pulling the lungs. Meanwhile, in the same time, it's happening, and in the aorta, the blood is also going to the system. Now, the pressure here in the ventricle is high, is more than the aorta. So the aortic valves open. The aortic valve opens, the ventricle contraction already contracting, the aortic valve is open, now it rapidly ejects the blood. Two-thirds of the blood goes in the rapid ejection phase. This is called rapid ejection phase. Two-thirds of the blood goes like that. While going like this, the pressure here in the ventricle goes to 120 mmHg, which also radiates in the aorta. That's why we are measuring our systolic BP as 120 mmHg. Okay. Now, rapidly two-thirds of the blood is flushed out. Now, balance one-third of the blood is slowly going, slowly going. This is called slow ejection phase. This is called slow ejection phase. One-third of the remaining blood is going there. So the pressure here dropping down, down, down. Now the aorta don't want its blood to go back here. So the aortic valve closed. Now the aortic valve is closed. The closure of aortic valve and same here the pulmonary valve produce sound called S2. Now here this is the phase called systole. Now we studied about contraction. Contraction is during systole. So the systole phase is so two-thirds of the blood goes in rapid, one-third goes in slow. The remaining very remaining blood is present here. This blood, small amount of blood, is called as end systolic volume. Systolic volume. Here, this is in systolic volume. Now here comes the phase of the diastole. The phase of the diastole starts when our aortic valve closes. Aortic valve closes. It's the starting point of our diastole. Diastole is what? Relaxation. It is 0.5 seconds in the ventricle. The systole is 0.3 seconds in the ventricle. The total cardiac cycle is 0.8 seconds. In this, systole is 0.3, diastole is 0.5. The beginning of diastole is the closure of the aortic valve, which produces sound S2. Not only aortic valve, the aortic valve and the pulmonary valve. Now, the aortic valve is closed. The mitral valve is also closed. Now the ventricles start relaxing. So here, the ventricle is relaxing. The pressure becoming down. It's relaxing. Now the chamber is closed. Aortic valve is closed, and the mitral valve is also closed. So the blood, the chamber is closed chamber. In this closed chamber, the pressure is coming down. This is called isovolumetric relaxation. Once the pressure is down, the pressure in the aorta is high, so the mitral valve is open. Now the mitral valve starts opening. This is called rapid filling phase. As I said before, 80% of the blood is coming from the aorta is passive. This is called, first is called rapid filling phase. Rapidly blood is coming from here. And some again slow filling phase. Slowly blood is coming from the aorta to the ventricle. Both of rapid filling phase and the slow filling phase, 80% of the blood is coming. Only remaining 20% blood needs atrial contraction. This is called atrial kick, also called as active filling phase. 20% of the blood needs this contraction. Now the blood 20% contracted and comes. Now the ventricle is having some amount of blood. This is after the diastole. This is called end diastolic volume. Again these actions, end diastolic volume, now the ventricle is relaxed, now blood is come here. Again the mitral valve closes, again the ventricle starts into isovolumetric contraction, again aortic valve goes, rapid ejection phase, slow ejection phase, and then again aortic valve starts to closing to, and then again isovolumetric relaxation, and the mitral valve closed, and rapid filling phase, slow filling phase, active filling phase. This is called Korlberg cycle.